is Mrs. Poel. Welcome back to our class. Today I want to start with saying thank you so much for everybody that has been watching our art videos. This has been a whole full month since we started doing art online, and I really appreciate everybody that has been checking in every week. And one of my favorite part of the week is always when you guys send me your work and you share what you learned, and when you check into our login times and when I get to see you and talk to you. That is one of my favorite parts of the week. So please continue to do so. Also, one very important reminder. Remember to be very safe when you're making your artwork. I just wanted to remind you that because Mrs. Poole just stabbed herself in the hand accidentally with a pair of scissors trying to open a package. So even if you think you're really good at your tools, you can always slip and make a mistake. So please make sure that you're being very careful whichever medium you're using for your projects. In today's art class, we're going to be learning about exploring color. Explore means to try new things and learn new things about a topic. And today, the topic we're going to be learning about is color. Color is one of the elements of art. And if we break down color into what color actually is, it means that it's the way the light reflects off of something and reaches your eye. So it's kind of hard to picture when we say it like that, but you guys know what color is. And color is a very important part of art because color has the power to make us feel certain ways when we see it. And colors also have symbolism where we think of certain things when we see a certain color. So for artists, it is very important to learn how to effectively use color to communicate what you want your audience to feel or think. With this project, we're going to be exploring the idea of color by looking at different color schemes. Another way of saying color schemes is color family. That is a group of colors that when you put it together, there's a certain name for that group. And a lot of them we have already learned in class, but I will review a few of them. And I would like you guys to pick one of the color schemes that I'm going to review and make artwork using just that color scheme.
But first, it's art history time.
Hello, Pablo Picasso. Hello. For our art history time today, we're going to be talking about the artist Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso is an artist from Spain. And he was a very talented artist, a painter from very young age. His father was also an artist, a painter, and an art teacher. So he learned how to paint very early on. And it is important to note that his early works were very realistic. And that's going to be important once we talk about his later work. At age just 14, just a few years older than our fourth graders, Pablo Picasso was able to paint a painting that is this realistic. It is quite amazing. At that same age, as 14 years old, he decided to attend a very famous art school in Spain. And he was learning how to paint even more, but he decided that he was really bored. He was one of those artists that did not really like school. So he decided that he wanted to develop his own style of art, not just copying old artwork. Picasso is an artist who worked in many different styles. And for today's lesson, we're going to talk about 3 of his most famous periods of art. The first period we're going to talk about is Picasso's Blue period. This period started when Picasso's close friend unfortunately passed away, and it made Picasso very sad. And he started to paint a lot of artwork that had a very deep feeling of sadness using a lot of blue colors. So this is where he used the color blue to express his feelings of feeling really sad about what had happened to his friend and expressing it through his artwork. After Picasso started to work in the blue period, creating these blue, sad artwork for a few years, he started to feel a little bit better. And then he fell in love. And then he enters what is called the rose period. In this time, Picasso made a lot of artwork using a rose color that's kind of like a pinkish orangish color, some beiges, oranges, really happy colors to show that he was feeling happier. So again, the color in his artwork in the rose period is to symbolize that he is happy. The last period of Picasso's art that we're going to discuss is actually not based on the color like the blue or rose period. It is called Cubism. And it is a brand new style of art that Picasso and his friend George Brook invented. In this style of art called Cubism, Picasso decided that he wanted to unconstruct, that means to take apart what he sees. Then he puts back together those pieces, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle to make his artwork. And a lot of times it looks very, very interesting. Here are some of his most famous artworks, and you can see that it is nothing from realistic. It is very emotional, it is very powerful, but it doesn't look like the actual lady or the actual person. And eventually, a lot of artists became influenced by Cubism, and that ultimately led to abstract art, which is artwork that doesn't look like anything. Pablo Picasso was one of those artists that realized that art doesn't have to look like anything. It doesn't have to look similar to what was actually drawn. Remember that in the beginning of our art history time, we talked about how Pablo Picasso was able to paint very realistically. That is important to note because you can realize that he's not painting unrealistically because he can't paint really well, which is totally untrue because he can paint. It's because he chose to do so. So choosing to paint abstract and choosing to paint unrealistically is a choice. It's not that that was the only thing he was able to do. Now let's review some of our color schemes. Some of these might be familiar to you, it might be just a review, and some of them might be brand new information. The first color scheme that I'm going to discuss is the primary colors. Think about the primary colors. What are they? Yes, it is red, blue, and yellow. And those are colors that are important because when you mix them, you get the second group of colors called secondary colors. What are the three secondary colors? Yes, purple, green, and orange. Those are the colors that you get by mixing two primary colors together. Now, this one might be a new one for a lot of you guys. The third one I'm going to talk about is tertiary colors. It's a really funny word to say. Tertiary means three. So primary is 1, secondary is 2, tertiary is 3. So it's the 3 kind of colors. And you can make tertiary colors by mixing 1 primary color and 1 secondary color. And the names of tertiary colors have 2 colors in them. For example, red, orange. It's a primary color, which is red, plus a secondary color, which is orange. And you put them together and you get red, orange. Same thing for blue, green, yellow, green. All of those colors that have 2 color names put together from the color wheels are called tertiary colors. Next, let's move on to the temperature of the colors. Colors have temperatures, and we have studied the 2 color groups. One is the warm colors, and the other are cool colors. What are the 3 warm colors? Yes, it's red, yellow, and orange. If you ever forget what kind of colors are warm colors, think of a campfire. Not the fire from a gas burner because that'll confuse you. Think of a campfire. It is red, orange, and yellow, and those are warm colors. If we look back at Picasso's example, the Rose period was done mostly in warm colors because warm colors give you a sense of kindness, sense of warmth, sense of love, and all of those good feelings. So he used a lot of warm colors to express the idea of happiness. Now, what are the 3 cool colors? Yes, it is
Purple, blue, and green.
This one's a little bit more confusing, I think, to try and remember what the 3 are. I like to think of it as the color of the lake. The lake can be blue, it can be green, and during the nighttime, maybe it's a purplish color. So those kinds of colors are called cool colors. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper into the color scheme idea and learn a few new ones. Again, you might already know it, great, but for a lot of you guys, this will be new information. The next one is called an achromatic color scheme. A means none. Chromatic means color. So we put those 2 together. Achromatic means no color. So that is a type of artwork that uses just black and white and grays in between. If we're using just one color, that is called monochromatic. Mono means one, chromatic means kind of color, and if we put it together, monochromatic means one type of color. So for example, if you use blue and sky blue and dark blue and all of those different blue colors, but nothing else, no reds, no yellows, no pinks, then that is called a monochromatic color scheme. If we go back to Picasso's example, his blue period was mostly done with just blue and shades of blue. So the blue period was a very monochromatic period for Picasso. The final one that I'm going to discuss in this video is neutral colors. Neutral colors are the kind of colors that you might see in natural hair coloring people. So black, brown, blonde color kind of look yellowish, but it's kind of like a beige-ish color. That is a neutral color. It's a very natural, earthy color. When you use neutral colors for your artwork, it's going to give you a very natural feeling. There are other color schemes as well. If you're more interested in color, then feel free to look up some more. And if you have any questions about any of them or you want some suggestions on what to look up, make sure you email me or contact me through our office hours. For this week's assignment, I would like you guys to explore one or more color scheme that I just discussed. Once you have picked your color scheme, I would like you to create a piece of art that uses just that color scheme. For example, if you choose an achromatic color scheme, your artwork is only going to have black, gray, and white, and you can make anything you would like to. It could be a black, gray, and white sculpture. It could be a value drawing like we did last week with pencils. It could be anything you want it to be. If the color scheme that you picked is primary color, maybe you will look into artists like P.A. Mondrian or Alexander Calder, who focuses on primary colors, and make your own version of that style artwork. Again, it can be any art medium you would like it to be. Or maybe you can make artwork that expresses your feelings about something like Picasso did. Maybe you'll use a monochromatic blue color scheme to express something that makes you sad. Maybe you'll use a warm color scheme to express something that makes you feel safe or warm or happy. Maybe you'll use an orange monochromatic color scheme to show something that you're excited about. So again, it can be anything you would like it to be. After this, I'm going to show you a super speed clip of some of my examples. So feel free to skip over that if you already have a really good idea and you don't need my examples. If you do need some samples, then you can look through the next section as well.
The first few are actually not my artwork, but really cool images that I found online. I will leave the name of the artist in the description box. And these are monochromatic family photographs. How fun is this project? I would love to do something like this with my family sometime too. Next, I have a few sculpture examples. The first one is a warm color mobile. And then there is a box fort that is made of the cardboard color, which is a neutral color. So this would be a neutral color sculpture, and a achromatic sculpture that's shaped like a bus. Now I'm going to show you my example that I made this week. I decided to digitally paint over the pencil drawing that I did last week where I observed the shapes. In the Sketches app, which I will leave a link to the app in the description box, I'm going to first put the picture that I took of my artwork and import it into the app. The nice thing about working digitally is that you can go back and try as many times as you want to. So what I would recommend is just to try some stuff. Try all of the paintbrush and the pen tools. Try to mess with the switches on the side to see if you can change the colors and the opacity, which is how transparent your color is going to be. And just try it out and see what you like. For my painting, I decided to use the paintbrush tool and set the opacity. Again, that's how transparent it is. So that it's a little bit more transparent so that doesn't cover up my pencil. And then I'm just going to go over the shapes and fill it in with my color scheme. For this painting, I decided to use secondary colors. So I'm only going to use shades of orange, shades of green, shades of purple, and black and white are always okay to use with your color schemes. So I am just repeating the same process over and over for each of my objects. I'm going to layer the colors, and the more you go over it, the color is going to get darker. So those are the areas you want your shadows areas to look like. And if you get too dark, you can go get some white color and layer the white on top. That way it'll look lighter again. So it's just really repeating that same process over and over. You don't have to do this digitally either. You can do the same thing using your drawing from last week or another one and color it with your regular drawing or painting tools. That works just fine as well. 3rd and 4th graders have used this app in class before, but if you decided to try this at your house and you get stuck, make sure you email me with your questions or come to our checking times and I'll be happy to help you with any issues that you might have. Towards the end, I made sure to add the cast shadows, added the paper color, so I made the paper color a bit lighter, and I added a wall color, and then I saved my image, and here's my finished project.
Here's a recap of this week's assignment. 1, you're going to explore a color scheme. Explore means to really dive into and just try to look at it and learn something new about a topic. 2, you're going to select your color scheme and envision what you would like your artwork to be. What are you trying to express by picking that color? What is the best medium to use for that color scheme? 3, create your artwork using just that color scheme. Now, if you would like to have a black outline, that is totally fine. You don't have to count the black as one of the colors. When you're finished with your work, please try to upload your finished project on Artsonia with the title and an artist statement. If you're not able to log into Artsonia, you can always contact me to get the login information, or you can email me with your project, with your title and artist statement. If you need help with your artist statement, please refer to the artist statement writing guide. I am very excited to see what you guys come up with. Have a good week!